Good morning and welcome to Break It Yourself. Today we're going to be smoking a pork shoulder on the Kamado Joe. And I will say, if you're starting out in barbecue, this is absolutely one of the easiest things that you can possibly do. So if you're new, stick around. If you're not, stick around for my method. But today we're doing a pork shoulder. I don't know how the audio is on this 360 cam, but this is a Kamado Joe fire starter, and I usually just cut them into 4 pieces because they last way longer and still get the job done. We got the fire going. Let me get in the shade here. There we go. Much better. Okay, so we've got our fire started. We're gonna keep the top open for about 10 minutes, and then we're just gonna let the eye command take over after that. Gonna head inside and we're gonna get that pork shoulder rubbed down. You may be curious how I'm getting meat during this time, if I'm going to the store or if I'm ordering groceries. We are actually ordering groceries. We're using Instacart from Costco to get meat, and we are fully capable of going to Costco ourselves. We just figured, and I've said this in a bunch of other videos, but we just figured using Instacart is a good way to keep someone else employed. Thankfully right now, both me and my wife are still employed, so during this time, we figured, hey, we're gonna order as many groceries as we can instead of going ourselves. That way we try to give someone else a job on the delivery end. So check out Instacart from Costco if you're a Costco member, and you can still get all kinds of great meat if they have it in stock. This is a boneless pork shoulder. I am gonna use some twine to tie it up to keep it together to try to get it to cook evenly. Okay, so like I said, I am going, instead of cutting this up more, I'm just gonna tie it together. The rub we're using this morning is just salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder, so it's very simple rub. I do 1 part salt, 1 part pepper, half part garlic, half part onion powder, and that's what I've got here. No paprika, nothing like that. Just salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder. All right, everything is nice and tidy now because we got the boneless version, so let's get it rubbed down. Apply the rub liberally. Oh, shoot. Not that liberally. I realize now that I'm way better. I never remember this. I'm way better at applying rub with my right hand than with my left hand. There we go. We're rubbed down. Now my preference would have been a bone in, but this is what we were working with and what we ordered from Costco, and this is what came. So I'm not gonna complain. That's why I'm tying it up, and we'll get this thing on the grill. Today I'll be shooting for 250 degrees and then internal temp, really going for probe tender, but it's gonna be somewhere between 190 and 200 degrees. Hoping that takes only 8 to 10 hours at that 250 degrees. Now, smoking wise, I'm trying to decide if I'm gonna do cherry or hickory. Haven't decided yet, so I'll decide once we actually get out to the grill. But the pork shoulder is rubbed down. And I cannot reiterate enough that doing a pork shoulder is possibly the easiest thing that you can do. Great for beginners to start out, or if you really don't want to put forth a ton of effort, you just throw it on. Temperature it obviously matters, but pork shoulders are resilient. If you have big temperature swings or you're just not confident, they usually come out fine. So great place to start out. Not 100% sure what we're gonna use today. Hickory, cherry, pecan. I'm not using pecan. I'm thinking I might just do some hickory today. Get some pieces. Let's do it. Also, I said 10 minutes on leaving the fire going. I think I've done a little longer than 10 minutes because that fire is pretty big now. That's okay. We'll put our wood on. We'll get everything set to go. Oh, it smells amazing already. So we actually need to get this fire to die down a bit. We're gonna let it sit for just a minute before we actually kick on the eye command. But we can go ahead and, it's so bright. We're gonna go ahead and put our pork shoulder on the grill. All right, boys and girls. All right, so I like to use meter as well as the eye command. So I'm gonna just jam meter in here. And then use my eye command probe as well. It's 5 p.m. and then we started this right around 9 a.m. I was a little late. So 8 hours? We are 8 hours in. Let's take a peek. We're 185 degrees. Looks like we're kind of in the stall right now. Hopefully it looks good. Ooh boy. Yeah, I think that'll do. $182. That is exactly what the 180. Yep, we still got 10 or so degrees to go. Apologies if this is your, you're a seasoned pro watching this video, but if you are not, one thing that you should absolutely do if this is your first few times doing this is do not time this for a meal, because what you're gonna do is it's gonna be your first time. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, I've got a smoker now and I'm gonna have this timed and I'm gonna have people over and we're gonna have dinner. We've all done it. I've done it. A lot of my friends have done it. And I'm telling you from experience, do not do that, because it's gonna hit a stall and it's gonna sit there forever and you're gonna be anxious and you're gonna wanna up the temperature and you're gonna wanna cut corners. So don't do that. Don't be like me. Don't time your first cook or even your first few cooks for meals. Just start it in the morning, let it go until it finishes, and enjoy it once it finishes, and snack in between. It is almost 7, so this is 10 hours? Yeah, something like that. 9 to 7, 10 hours. Ooh, that's tender over there. Yeah, still got a little ways to go. Not quite probe tender everywhere. It was not probe tender when I came out, and it was like between 190 and 195. We were not probe tender, so I let it go a little bit longer. You can't just go for a temperature. You need to go for probe tender. You're looking for that melted butter feel when you stick your meat probe in. Oh, we still got smoke rolling, man. Maybe this just, oh, that felt amazing. Yeah, I think we can actually pull it. I'm gonna go snag the cutting board, come out here, see if we can peel this thing off the grate and get it inside. There we go. Our next step is actually to tint it in foil. Just kind of let it cool down slowly. We're not gonna wrap it and rest it. We're just gonna tint it in foil. We're gonna let that sit for half an hour to an hour, and then we're gonna pull it. See, this stuff is, oh, that stuff is good down there. So far, I mean, excellent bark if you look at this. Oh, that's just incredible bark. Good smoke ring. We'll see what the flavor's like. Yeah, look at that. Look at that smoke. We got a great smoky flavor, great smoke ring, good bark. This is one of the easiest things that you can smoke to get started on barbecue. I was just interrupted by our new nighttime projection, so whenever I get that video finally uploaded, I will link it above if you want to check that out. Pork shoulder, one of the easiest possible things that you can do to get started in barbecue. If you just got a smoker, definitely start with this. Like I said, overall, great bark, great smoke ring, great flavor. You got tenderness, juicy. It's great, easy, and they come out that way like 99% of the time, almost no matter what you do. So grab a rub that you like. I already mentioned the one that I did. Throw it on there, get it on the grill, and it's almost impossible to mess up. Hope you found this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching Break It Yourself. As always, don't forget to thumbs me up, and we'll see you next time.